Greetings everyone and welcome to a new video on this channel. Today I want to talk about something which I already thought of for a long time now. Looking back at the past years of playing Lucario and the development behind that brought me to the thought of what are the more or less important things to do and to not do when picking up Lucario and trying to master him in Ultimate. One important thing I gotta mention at this point is that there of course is no rule of how to play Lucario successfully or anything. Actually, it's the opposite. Also, as always, I've made this video based on my personal experience and opinion. There are so many different and more importantly creative ways to play each character of the roster. With this video I just thought that I will show some pretty neat things outside of an actual guide or anything from my last 5 years of playing Lucario in Ultimate. I also received some comments from you guys because I was curious of what you think about that. And now, with that being said, let's get started. We will start with the most iconic and also most common move, good old Aura Sphere. A good Lucario obviously has a perfect or at least very good control over the move and its benefits. We already talked so much about that in the past, so I don't want to go too detailed through it at this point. Aura Sphere cancelling allows you to go for certain follow-ups such as aerials, force palm against shielding opponents or even smash attacks for example. Of course, this is just one important part about the move, which brings me to its second big benefit, the movement. With B reverses and wave bounces, Lucario has access to great mobility. A good Lucario definitely can make use of that to either avoid your opponent's attacks, to get into a good position to then strike with an Aura Sphere cancel follow-up, or to simply confuse your opponent. As already mentioned in my beginner's guide and probably several other videos in the past, mastering the character means to master the Aura Sphere. As I recently got asked again how I can wave bounce consistently, you can take a look at my controls and the inputs I use on screen. The options Aura Sphere and your general movement can give you are nearly endless, which is why it's definitely something a good Lucario will use. Still, the don't, which I recognized over the past years at this point, is that you shouldn't actually overuse your movement options. There are situations in which a more regular way to dodge attacks or to take stocks can be more useful. If your opponent gets behind your strategy with B reverses and wave bounces, it won't be too hard for him to read your next steps or left options and punish you. For the next part, let's talk about how a good Lucario should behave off stage. And with that I mean both ways. Say how to react when recovering and also how to go for edge guards. As for recovering, there are things to avoid such as edge guards or 2 frames when you try to come back to the stage. Make use of different methods to safely come back to the stage. A good Lucario can definitely control extreme speed well in every situation. No matter if you go straight for the ledge, use the vacuum, go for a reversal, wall cling, or the bounce. The key is to mix up your recovery every time you are off stage so that it's as difficult as possible for your opponent to read your next step and punish whatever way you have chosen to come back to the stage. The don't at this point is literally the opposite. Say always using the same way to recover over and over. With that, your opponent won't have any problems to punish you and take your stock. As for edge guards, making use of Aura Sphere is just one way. A good Lucario always will keep an eye on his opponent to then decide what would be the best way to land an edge guard. Try to read your opponent's recovery and don't bother getting low or far away from the stage, at least when you have enough aura to safely come back to the stage again. And talking about that brings me to the next point, the aura mechanic. And no, in my opinion, a good Lucario does definitely not just rely on aura. Even though the mechanic will obviously help you to deal damage and take stocks, just waiting until you're at higher percents or even lost a stock won't necessarily let you win the game. Lucario is pretty light, especially compared to Smash 4. And if your opponent doesn't have trouble to take stocks early, you'll get problems if you just try to rely on the aura mechanic. As someone who prefers an aggressive playstyle, I think that you definitely shouldn't wait for aura, but go for Lucario's basic combos right from the beginning. Yes, it can be more challenging to take stocks without aura, but a good Lucario finds a solution, based on which character he is facing. And even at low percents, Lucario can deal a good amount of damage with basic combos. It's still a comeback mechanic though, and making use of aura does not mean to completely rely on it. And that brings me to the last and probably most important point of this video. Yes, a good Lucario has a lot of patience, because that's what you need to play successfully with such a technical character in my opinion. Talking about aura and the usage of Aura Sphere makes it clear. Mentioned options for Lucario in terms of movement, combos, aura and everything the character stands for can be very difficult to get into. A good Lucario doesn't get distracted from that though. He will master the character against all odds. He won't panic when his opponent takes the lead, and no matter how the game is going for him, he will still find the opportunity to surprise his opponent. Do the unexpected in the moment no one reckons with it, never give up or overthink, and most importantly, never stop having fun while playing. If you can put all that together, then you are indeed a very good Lucario. That would be it for today's video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. What do you think about the do's and don'ts of Lucario in Ultimate, and what would you say a good Lucario player has to master? Feel free to use the comment section to let me know. As always, thanks for watching and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Bye!